Trauma is defined as a deeply distressing or disturbing experience. At some point in all of our lives, we will experience some form of trauma. But imagine if your trauma came with it a demon whose sole purpose is to distort and destroy your reality until it is done with you, then causes you to traumatize another so that it may continue to live on. Ladies and gentlemen, Sky Riley experienced such a demon. The film we're about to discuss chronicles the 6 days between when she was traumatized until this demon was finished with her. This is a sequel that is worth talking about. This is an experience as a film watcher that you owe yourself. Ladies and gentlemen, today we are discussing Smile 2. Let's get it, y'all. What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to Let Me Be Frank, a podcast about movies. And you heard it right. Today, I am talking Smile 2. I am not usually excited for sequels. Most sequels to me lack the soul of the original. It tend to feel more like a cash grab than a movie that was actually put together with the fans in mind. This movie was put together for us. This movie is fantastic. Now, y'all all know how I feel about these 2-hour journeys that these people want to take us on every other movie. But this movie is worth the runtime, and I feel like the runtime also plays into what this demon is doing. But before we get way too far into this review, I want to thank you for being here again. Thank you for coming back. Thank you for liking. Thank you for subscribing. Click the bell. You get notifications whenever I drop a video. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to be dropping a lot of them because we're coming up on the end of the year and this ain't stopping. But let's get back to our movie, Smile 2. Now, I was shocked by the first one. I was expecting more of Truth or Dare, the one where they were smiling and Lucy Hale. That movie was trash. When I first saw this movie, I was expecting it to be bad until I actually watched it. And I was floored with how original it was, how genuinely frightening it was, and how this thing that attached itself to people would literally drive the host insane. And the fact that nobody else could see what was happening lend itself to the horror. Now, when I heard that they were doing a second one, I wasn't overly enthusiastic because usually sequels lack whatever. Either they rehash the original storyline to where it feels like you're watching the same movie just with a different character, or they dumb it down, or they don't completely think out the plot, or they just undo all the goodwill that they built up from the first film. This movie did absolutely none of that. It does sit at quite a rotund, uh, quite a hefty runtime of 2 hours and 19 minutes. But I'll get to why that also plays a factor into the movie. At least it did for me. All of this is just my opinion, but go ahead and comment below and let me know what you thought. This movie takes place 6 days after the original. Once it passes itself on to Riley, you begin to question reality. They go into more of an explanation of the demon itself. They don't give too much away because it's still a mystery as to what it looks like, what its actual purpose is. It seems like its purpose is simply to exist off of others. It just wants to cause pain, which is insane to think about. This movie distorts reality. You learn throughout the course of the film to stop trusting the things that you're seeing because you don't actually know if what you're seeing is actually what's happening. And I absolutely love that. Now I'm going to get into the runtime. This movie is exhausting. You can see the life draining from our, I can't even really call her a hero. She has flaws just like everyone else. There are no perfect victims. As the film goes on, she begins to look more and more drained. And as an audience member, trying to decipher what's reality, what's actually happening to her, what's not actually happening to her, where the help is coming from, if there's any help coming, it gets exhausting for her. And it also gets exhausting for us to where we become, throughout the course of the film, I got physically tired just from trying to piece her reality together. I couldn't imagine being in this situation. The upside down camera angles, the which is a beautiful metaphor for how her world has been flipped upside down. The non-trusting of people close to you. It doesn't even matter if you're in a room full of people or if you're by yourself. This this thing that attaches itself to people wears down your personal relationships and forces you into isolation. And we saw that in the first film, where no matter what this person says or what happens around them, they come to the point where they know they can't really trust the faces that they're seeing. Even though it's someone who says that they're there to help you, you don't know if they're completely there to help you. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm giving this movie a 9 out of 10. I thought the music in this movie is perfectly placed. The scares are, there's one scene in particular that happens in Riley's apartment. When you get there, you'll know it. It is horrifying. The camera angle they used to show us what's going on is perfect. If you can put yourself in that situation, if you can put yourself in that room with her, you will know exactly what I'm talking about. Ladies and gentlemen, go rent this movie. Smile 2 is a fantastic sequel. This is how horror sequels should be done now, because it's not all good. There are some things, I don't want to spoil this. There's some things toward the end that's not my cup of tea. Not something I would have put in the film, but that's why I'm here on YouTube making videos about movies and not actually making them. But there's a couple things towards the end that I didn't like, minus those things because they were very small. Well, no, they weren't very small. There were things in the end that I didn't completely agree with should have been there. But all in all, the movie was still fantastic. It was a great film to sit through. It was mentally and physically exhausting watching her attempt to fix her reality, not knowing how far gone everything could possibly be or the extent of this demon, because there is a way to get rid of it. It's just almost impossible to figure out how. And once you do, you can't even you I feel like even if you were able to get rid of this demon, that your mind is going to be permanently broken because you don't know if it's truly gone or not. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't want to say anything else because I feel like I'm ready to just talk about the whole damn movie right now. But ladies and gentlemen, I give this a huge stamp of approval. Go see it. Thank you for being here. If you have seen it, let's talk about it in the comments below. And I will see y'all in the next video. Peace.